Hey Flosstube, it's Katie the Stash Queen coming to you on this Sunday, June the 5th. I hope everyone has had a wonderful stitchy week. I had a very good but a very busy week. Monday was the holiday, of course. Tuesday, I went out to lunch with Kate, the Queen of Starts. Yay! It was a lot of fun. We had lunch and then we went to my LNS here, Threads That Bind, and spent some money. And then we went to Barnes & Noble and I spent some money. Lots of fun, lots of laughter. It was a wonderful time, as it always is with me and my stitchy sister. It was also the last week of school. So Thursday was the last full day. And I spent almost my entire day up at the school between there was a kindergarten graduation ceremony in the morning. Then they both wanted me to have lunch with them. So I had lunch with David and then I had lunch with Teresa. And then David's class party was that afternoon. And then after David's class party was Teresa's awards ceremony, and after Teresa's awards ceremony was her class party. It was a long, crazy, busy day. And then Friday was the last day. Sorry, my hair's being weird today. Friday was their last day of school. It's a half day. So we are, taking it easy kind of this weekend, and tomorrow we'll start summer in full swing. So it's going to be kind of crazy, because this next month is going to be crazy. This next week is going to be crazy. Teresa's birthday is this week. My husband and Maya's anniversary is this week. My sister's coming into town this week. It's just, life never stops. So, but overall, it was a good stitchy week. I did get quite a bit of stitching done. So let's go ahead and get started. We will start with the Q&A, like always. First was from Jalen Hansen. She says that I know you've mentioned before that you've made your husband a running, she thought it was forget this, I'm going running piece. Any chance you can show it and or link to the chart? I can do both. Here is the piece that I did. It was a Christmas gift for him last year. It's Screw Calm and Go Running. And I will put a link to the pattern below. It was from an Etsy shop, and I didn't write down which Etsy shop it was, but I can easily find it. And I will put a link to it below. It was a very easy stitch. It was, and you can switch out whatever colors you want for whatever. I mean, it's very, very easy. Ruby Lane asked, I love all your projects, and the What a Wonderful World caught my eye. What was the inclusive date of the Cross Stitch Gold magazine where you can find the pattern? It is the May-June 2016 issue. Pemberley Woods said, my question is that I'm hoping to begin a small fabric stash and wonder what size you would recommend ordering. Do you most often use a fat quarter, fat half? My 2 Fabric of the Month subscriptions right now are for fat quarters. And those work very well for me. They fit most larger pieces that, as well as I can cut it down and use the smaller pieces. Now, if you want like several pieces on the same fabric, a fat half might be more reasonable. I did have fat halves for a long time. When I had the Picture This Plus Fabric of the Month subscription, when they did those, I did fat halves. Under the Sea for a while, I did fat halves. But a fat quarter I have found is a good size to fit most patterns. Like Mira's will fit on a fat quarter relatively easily. And then you can cut it down in half to make them fat 8s for the smaller pieces, and that works really well. So I would say fat quarter. Vicky Reno said, I've been watching you for a long time. Love your videos. I noticed that you use 32 count fabric often. I've never used 32, and I'm starting a new project on 32 Lugana. How many threads do you use, and do you do full crosses when you're using 32 count? Usually I use 2 threads, and yes, I do full crosses. There are a couple of pieces that I have. The first one I can think of is the ABCs of Parenting, which I'm doing on 32 count, and I'm only doing it with 1 strand, but I'm doing a full cross because I kind of like the way it looks. But 2 strands with a full cross should be just fine. Stephanie Watson asked, hi Katie, what is Flosstube? Flosstube is a website that is supposed to be the cross stitchers version of Ravelry, essentially. I don't know anything about Ravelry. I don't knit or crochet, so I am not on Ravelry, but this is what I am told, is that it's supposed to be the cross stitchers version of Ravelry. It's in beta testing, and the creator seems to be having health issues and hasn't been seen for a little while on the website, so I don't know what the future of it is. It's a fantastic concept. I hope it doesn't go away because it's awesome. But that's what it is. It's a and I'm not putting a link to it because right now, since she's been kind of MIA for a bit with health, she's not adding any more beta testers for now that I'm aware of. But as soon as it opens, whatever happens with it, for sure, we'll let you know. Let's see here. Ain't That a Stitch asked, what size fabric count and material would you recommend getting for Fabric of the Month from Under the Sea Fabrics? Well, the best answer would be whatever fabric count you like working with best, and whatever fabric you like working with best would be the best option. I get 32 Belfast in a fat quarter from Leslie. I like the 32 count because I also get 28 count from my Fabric of the Month from Stephanie. So I get some 28 each month and I get some 32 each month. The Belfast takes the color really nicely in almost all of the pieces I like that Leslie does for Under the Sea. The Belfast usually takes it beautifully. And I like using 32 count. Now, if you don't like 32 count, don't get 32 count. I'd say go with the fat quarter because, like I said, to the earlier question, that's a good size for most pieces. But as far, if you prefer Ada, she does Ada. If you prefer Joblin or Belfast, you can use whatever you want. But I get 32 Belfast in a fat quarter. Gail Norwood asks, do you have a sister that works in a pulmonologist office? And if not, you then have a twin running around the Metroplex. I have a sister, but she lives in New York and looks nothing like me. So no, apparently I have a twin somewhere in the DFW Metroplex that works in a pulmonologist's office, which is funny because when I worked in healthcare also. See here, Henna 1937 said, I'm wanting to stitch the Hamilton musical album cover on gold fabric that Jack's Realm looks like what I may be looking for. Is it similar? I'd say it looks similar because I looked up the Hamilton image. Problem is that from what I see with the Hamilton image is that it kind of has a shading that goes from dark to pretty light. The color seems to be okay, but it doesn't have that shading from the dark to the light. What I would recommend doing would be to contact whatever fabric dyer you want to use, whether it's Stephanie, if you want to talk with her about Jack's Rum, Leslie, any of the other dozens of people that are out there, and talk with them and let them know what you're looking for. And they'll probably be able to work with you to get something that would meet your needs. Amelin Stitches asked, where do I get the plastic for my soon-to-be magnets from? I've ordered it from 123 Stitch. It's just the Darice brand, D-A-R-I-C-E brand 14 count perforated plastic. It's relatively inexpensive on 123 Stitch. That's where I got it. Let's see here. Yarn Yenta 247. I'm also doing the Pumpkin Passport, and since each new month overlaps with the previous month, I'm having trouble keeping track of what I've done when the new one comes out. I'm using Foxit on my Kindle. I've stopped working on it thinking I should wait until the whole pattern is released, but I miss it, and so I was hoping for some help. How do you keep track? I don't mark my Frosted Pumpkin pattern. The easiest way to keep track is from making sure you're up to date at the end of each month, because it's, even if you're using Foxit or something like that, what I don't. So with that caveat, say you finished up May's piece, then June comes out. What I would do first would be to look at the May, open up both May and June, find out where the end of the border is, like the end of the May pieces, and mark that off on your pattern. And then you have the rest of June, because that'll be where you were starting from. And then you can use the rest of the upcoming month. I don't find it too difficult to see where it ends and when it begins, because it has pretty definitive ending points for each country. But that's me. So, that's what I would do if I was marking it off. I would go and say, okay, here's my May portion, we'll say, because June just came out. Here's my May portion. Here's the far right border of May. Here's the June version. Let's find the far right border of May, mark it off, and then go from there. That would be my recommendation. And then Nerdy Stitcher asked, do you meal plan to free up time for stitching? Not really. Would be smart, but my kids are very picky eaters. And so we have a limited, and for a variety of reasons, they're picky eaters. And I'm not going to get into that. It's not just they're picky eaters, other stuff. But so I only have pretty much a pretty limited list of what I can make for dinner for the entire family to eat. So it's pretty easy. Say, okay, which one are we doing tonight? We're slowly getting a little bit better on that, but there's just some different issues with textures and all that sort of thing that we're working on. So anyway, that's my Q&A for the week. As always, thank you everyone for your questions. I love answering them. If you have any questions for me, let me know and I'll be happy to answer them next week. Okay, week in review. I'm doing something a little bit different this month or this week. I've decided if I don't work on a piece for a week, I'm not showing it again. Just because you're going to see the same piece over and over and over again, and what's the point of seeing it if, you know, more than once if I haven't worked on it. So with that in mind, Magical Creatures Calendar, Wednesday was the 1st. June is a dragon. I haven't worked on it at all yet, so I'll show it to you guys next week. Postcards from the World. I did work on that one. This month it is Egypt, which is really cool. This is 32 Jobelin in Ice Goddess from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie using flosses and silks from Moe's. I did the frame. Egypt's flag is red, white, and black with a little gold emblem. So I am using Lee floss from Moe's for the red, white, and black. I know the white's a little bit more gray, but it's close enough. So I got the frame done, so now I can start filling in the frame. And then the Pumpkin Passport this month is Russia. I haven't started working on it yet. I've been working on planning out my what I'm going to do to Hoovianize it. I have one idea for sure with the little girl that's in it. I know what I'm doing with her. But I want to find at least one more thing I can put somewhere, and I haven't decided yet what that will be. So I will show that off when I have more. Focus for a finish that I haven't focused on or finished yet is the Mediterranean Flavors by Dimensions. Didn't work on it this week. The annual Mani Stitch Along. This past week I worked on my Baltic Sea Mandala from Chatelaine. And I am doing this one on 32 Lugana in Mercedes from Picture This Plus. I don't know if you're going to be able to see really well what I did, but I was working primarily with Rainbow Gallery Petite Treasure Braid to add more sparkle. See, can you see some of it? Yeah, there's a little bit of that blue sparkle that's in there. So that was pretty much what I did on this. And then I have my Starfish Needle Minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. I like working on the sparkle. Doesn't look like I did much, but it's there. Then Wednesday also started our new monthly Stitch Along in Mania, which is Wine and Whips. Now, before I say anything about that, I just want to take a second and say Stitch Mania this year was fantastic. I am so proud of each and every one of you who participated in Stitch Mania, whether it was doing 15 start in 15 days, whether you went all the way to the end of the month, whether you worked on whips that you hadn't worked on in forever, whether you just cheered us on, whatever you did, it was phenomenal. I have so many new patterns on my wish list. I loved seeing the enthusiasm. You all are absolutely, between the videos and the posts in the group, and it was an amazing month. I'm so proud of each and every one of you, and I love being a part of the group, and I'm honored that I get to help admin this with Coffee Stitcher. Be ready. Stitch Mania 2017 is coming. We are going to keep going because it was awesome. So anyway, Wine and Whips. That started on Wednesday. The concept of Wine and Whips is to work on a whip that makes you whine. Wine, W-H-I-N-E. And it can be for whining for different reasons. It could be you're whining because there's a part of it that's really tedious that's bothering you. You could whine on it because you want it to be done and it's not done yet. You can whine because you really want to work on it and you haven't been able to work on it because of other stuff. Whatever reason that makes you whine about it, good or bad. For week 1, which started Wednesday, I am working on my Christmas countdown from Dimensions. It makes me whine because of that border. I have put 4 hours in so far for this week, and I've made a lot of progress on the border. See, when I started this week, the red was above this line, and I did not have the majority of that side border. So I'm making good progress on it. I have my little Cat in the Hat needle minder from Minding My Minders. And I still have 3 more days to work on it this week. So my hope is to get some more progress in on that this week. So maybe one day I can finish that border. Because I know once I finish the border, the rest of it's going to go relatively easily for me. The border helps make sure that everything is placed right, and I have to do borders first. It's just one of my OCD things. So, you know, we'll see how much I can get done on that. Year of starts. Here I had 8 starts this week between the end of Stitch Mania and just regular starts for the week. My first one was Only Dull Women by Lizzie Kate. And I am doing this on 28 Jobelan in Kaleidoscope from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here is where I got to at this point. Got some of those flowers done in the middle. I have my little Groot needle minder from Minding My Minders. Pretty fabric. See, this was originally a fat quarter, and I cut it in half, so now it's a fat eighth. And I can use the other fat half on another piece. Then my next one was from the Just Cross Stitch 2009 ornament issue. I'll tell you a funny story about this piece. It's Festive Quaker Tree, which is this one right here. Now, looks, it's a small ornament, right? I realized as I looked at the pattern, it was done on 28 count over 1. So when I converted it to the Ada that I decided to use with, it's going to be a lot bigger. So it's not going to be an ornament. Because here is where I got to. This is just a pale blue Ada scrap that I had in my stash. I'm going to make this into a no-sew cube when the time comes and when I'm done with it. And then that is a blingy Christmas tree needle minder from, I believe, Nifty Needle Nannies. I was like, why is this so much bigger? How? Oh, because they did it 28 count over 1. That makes sense. Oh well. Oh, I don't want that to fall down here. Then the next one that I worked on was actually a lot of fun. It is, where did the picture of it go? Here it is. It is Tulip Egg from Mill Hill. This is entirely beaded. Everything on here is beads. So here's where I got to. I loved it because it gave me a fix for my beading, because I love the beading. It's a lot of fun. So I still have a needle on it because I take one strand of thread and so one of the few times I will take one strand and turn it over so it becomes 2 strands. Beading needles, it works a lot better that way. Then the next one, I can't show you the actual finished product or pattern because it's only the pattern in the book. But it is Queen for a Day, which is in 365 Cross Stitch Designs 2016 issue. And I am using, doing this on a piece of scrap white Ada using DMC variegated, like the early DMC variegated stuff that's discontinued DMC variegated. So here's where I got to this point, working on the crown. And this is a crown needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. So I'm using a pink right now. Then the next one is an electronic pattern, so I'll put a link to it below. It is Pretty Little London by Satsuma Street, and I am doing this on 32 Belfast and Snow-Kissed Pines from Under the Sea Fabrics. And here's where I got to at this point. Just start working some on the bridge. Sorry, it's on the crease, but then I have a little Queen stamped needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Let's see here. Then the next one's also an electronic pattern. It's from the My Little Pony set of 6 that I'm doing. I started on Applejack. So I got her hat and started working on some of her color. And this is just, this is by Pixels and Stitches, and it's on perforated plastic. Clearly haven't gotten to rarity yet. Then the next one, can't show you the pattern because it's electronic and discontinued, is the Teacup Collection from Vermilion Stitchery. I got the June portion done. So now here's January, February, March, April, May, June. And this is on 32 Belfast and Whimsical Winter from Under the Sea Fabrics. So the whole 6 months up here is done, and then July will start down here. And then my last new start for this week was fun. Is Life's a Stitch by Lizzie Kate. And I'm doing this just on a scrap piece of 20 count white Lugana, and I'm using the DMC Coloris threads that I got. And here is where I got to at this point. Now what's really cool, you see that pink flower and the green leaves outside it? That's one floss. The floss is pink and green. So I was able to get the green parts to do the leaves and the pink part for the flower. It was very cool. And then I have this pretty needle minder from, flip it the right way, from Minding My Minders. That was fun. See? Pretty colors. And then I did do one whip this week. And it was my Queen of the Needle by Just Nan. And I'm doing this on 28 Jobelan and Fruit Punch from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And I did one line, one band. I did this gray band here down at the bottom. It's a specialty stitch. It's the cashmere stitch. So I did that. I still have some crosses to finish in this band, but I wanted to do something specialty stitch related. So here is the whole piece as it stands for now. Got a long ways to go. And I have this pretty key needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. So that was what I worked on this week. Not too bad, not too shabby. Could have worked on more, but you know, life happens. So plans for the upcoming week. So I gotta move this so I can read it all. My phone's covering it. So the monthly stitch-alongs, I'm going to plan on getting some work done on Magical Creatures, on Pumpkin Passport, and on the Clouds Factory postcards. Hopefully work on my Mediterranean flavors. The annual Mania stitch-along this week is a Brooks Books week for me. And this week I am working on Spirit of Cross Stitch Angel. The last time I worked on it, I finished the wings with all the beading, and I finished the dog already. So that's all that goes on this piece of silver perforated paper. The rest of this, her accoutrement, the rest of it is all done on the brown perforated paper. So I will move, I don't know where I'm going to start yet. I haven't decided yet, but I'll start working on either her or her little extras. We will see. Then for Wine and Whips, I will continue working on my Christmas countdown for today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. Then Wednesday I'll switch it out for the second piece I'm going to work on for this month, and it is my European Bistro by Dimensions Gold collection. This makes me whine because I'm not a huge fan of the fabric, and because I want to be a lot further on it than I am. Here is where I will start from. So hopefully I can get some good progress on it. I will, just like I did, and this is my, it's a little Once Upon a Time with Rumple Hook and Regina Needle Minder from Minding My Minders. The plan will be next Sunday, I will show you guys whatever progress I've made from Wednesday to Sunday and then continue it on, just like I'm doing with Christmas Countdown. So we will see what happens when I get to that. Year of starts, since it's not technically Stitch Mania anymore. I have 8 starts for this week because I'm doing double starts on one day. Let's see. First one is an electronic pattern. I'll put a link to it below. It is the Doctor Who Villains and Monsters from Wee Little Stitches. And I am going to be doing this on 32 Jobelan and Siren Noir from Under the Sea Fabrics. And here's the fabric piece. I'm not sure how I'm going to flip it yet, but here it is. And my little needle minder is Keep Calm and Call the Doctor. Then, and that's what I'll work on today. Yay, Doctor Who! Should have gone to Dallas Comic Con this weekend. Next year. I'm going. Peter Capaldi was there. Jenna Coleman. Martha, whose actress's name I can't remember. Arthur Darvill, aka Rory. Next year I'm going. Then the next one I have to start from the yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I will be starting on today. Live today to the fullest. And this is from Cross Stitch and Needleworks July 2013 issue for all three of them. And I'm just going to be doing it on perforated plastic. See the 14 count Doris perforated plastic. And then I have a little Minecraft head needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Then on Tuesday is when I have two starts scheduled. The first one is from the 2015 Just Cross Stitch Halloween issue. And it is Spooky Hollow Quilts. This one right here. I just think that's adorable. And I'm going to be doing it on 28 Joblin in Vanilla Latte from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Let's see, it's just a very gentle, easy neutral here. Then I'm going to do this on. And the minder I am using is from Brenda. It is this really pretty cameo. Then the next pattern that I'm doing on Tuesday is also an electronic pattern. It is Some Days You're the House by Coffee Stitcher Design, and I will put a link to it below. And I will be doing that one on 28 Joblin Solo Die from Silk Weavers. And then, let me show that one. The other half of this is what Zelda is on. And Garrett gave me the okay to do it on this piece. And I'm going to be subbing out where I can flosses from Dragonfly Lotus, similar to what I did with his Snow White. And then my minder is this cute little Wicked Witch of the West needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Then my next one is from the Cross Stitch and Needlework collection, The Year of Celebrations. This one actually comes from the July 2014 issue. I'll be starting June. And this entire series is on 32 Belfast and Autumn from Under the Sea Fabrics. So there's January, February, March, April, May. So I'll start on June. And this is Cleverly Disguised as an Adult from Delicious Threads. So I'll do June. And then this next one is also an electronic pattern. I have quite a few of them this week to talk about. It's the Elements of Harmony from Pixels and Stitches. It's the My Little Pony symbol. I'll put a link to it below. And I am doing it also on the perforated plastic. And I have a little Rarity needle minder from Minding My Minders, because Rarity's awesome. She's my favorite. Then the next one I have is from the Cross Stitch and Needlework May 2014. It's Porpier, which is the second in the Flower series. And I will be doing this on 32 Joblin in Georgia Peach from Under the Sea Fabrics. I'll cut it down. I just have this really pretty flower and piano needle minder from Minding My Minders. And then the last new start for this week will be my Classic Christmas Charm. I will start ornament number 3. And I'm doing that whole series on 32 Joblin in Simply Sage from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here's the piece where it stands right now. We've got the border started, ornament 1 and ornament 2. So I'll start on ornament 3. And then I have this little blingy Santa needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. So those are my plans for my new starts this week. Whips. I only worked on 1 and I only had 6 that I had pulled since I did my video late last week. So Rainbow Parfait by Glendon Place, Rapunzel by Joan Elliott, Rarity from Pixels and Stitches, Raven Queen from Mirabilia, and Rhyme and Reasons from Just Nan, which I have shown you guys before, are still in my list for this upcoming week. I've added 2 more. First one is Robin Hood from Little House Needleworks, and this is done on 32 Lugana in sand from Picture This Plus. And here is where we are at this point on this one. And I have a little Captain America needle minder from Delicious Threads. And then the other one that I pulled for this week to bring it up to 7 in case, you know, I actually get through all of them in a week is Rocking Horse from Mill Hill. And this is where I got to when I worked on them last time, or when I started them. So those are my plans for the week. Let's see how far I get with having lots of crazy stuff going on this week and with summer vacation starting. Wish me luck. Last bit that I have today is stash acquisitions, and there's a lot. Between a monthly order and then a supply order that I needed and then going shopping with Kate, it was just doomed. So I will start with my monthly order from Joddery came in. And so I'll show those off. This is a limited edition for this month. It's called Maypole Ribbons. It's really pretty pastels. And these are in no particular order because they're in a pile in front of me. This is The Mermaid's Tale, greens and grays. This is Emerald Forest. This one is Oz the Great and Powerful. It's a greenish gray with the other colors. This one is Crystal Seas. The purple shows up really brightly on the screen. This one is A Lion's Courage. Wizard of Oz line, clearly. This is Yellow Brick Road. This one is Titian's Palette. This is Wicked Witch of the West, greens and blacks. It's dark green, but it's green. This is The Gnome King. And the last one is Sunset Beach. All pretty. I'm working on getting caught up on filing my threads away because I've been bad about that lately. I'm almost done with all of my mows, and then I'll work on Joddery. Then I placed an order with Minding My Minders, my first one since the ownership changed. Got those in. I actually had this one. It was a clearance. It was a pretty little Paris one, so I went ahead and got that. And then my 2 Hook Once Upon a Time needle minders because I love Captain Hook. So I'm happy with those. Then I had done an order with Stony Creek over the Memorial Day weekend holiday when they were having their sale, and it was all of the supplies that I still needed for my June pieces, plus the next bit of memory thread that I need for the Spirit of Oz Santa. So here's the memory thread. This is the gold, 6,200. So I got that. I'll put that with my Spirit of Oz Santa. Then the rest of this are threads that I needed for pieces that I'm working on this month. Several of them for this week. I had some glass treasures. This is 12144. They're cute little leaves. Excuse me. And this one is a crystal treasure 13022, which is these cute little, pretty little beads. Those are not going with me downstairs because I don't need beads right now. Then I had some Krynic. Is it all 11? Yeah, this looks like it's all. Oh no, I've got 1 8, 1 4, 2 4s, 2 8s, 2 4s and 2 8s. Okay, the 4s. This is 002 HL. This is 127. And then the 8s. This is 191. And this one is 015. And then in a couple of weeks, we got whitewash and cocoa that I needed. And the rest of this is all Gentle Arts between the Simply Shaker and the sampler threads, which I don't know what the difference is, but whatever. We have Pumpkin Patch. I had 2 Harvest Basket because with Gaston Weeks and Classic Colorworks, I put a new skein in each thread, or a skein in each piece. There we go. I will pull from my stash, but if I have more than one piece that calls for it, I'll get another skein. This is Autumn Leaves, like that. Oh, that's pretty. This is Wood Trail. This is Deep Forest. This is Wheat Fields. Gold Leaf. Showing up really yellow on the screen. It's not quite that yellow in person. This is Tropical Ocean. This one is Antique Rose. Pretty. This is Dried Thyme. This is Butternut Squash. I think I got 2 of those. Yes, I got 2 butternut squashes. This is Old Hickory. This is Old Purple Paint. This is Raven. Lavender Potpourri. Brethren Blue. And Rhubarb. So that was my Stony Creek haul. Now the rest of this all comes from hanging out with Kate. It's inevitable. Let me get this all in here because I need to bring it downstairs with me. She and I get together, we're in Plano, we're going shopping. It's just the way it is. First off, though, Kate was really, really sweet, and she brought me a lovely birthday present. Multiple part birthday present. First part is this cute pattern from Basque Designs. It says, "Gotta love a stitcher, orts and all." It's just really cute. That'll be a fun one to do with just some scrap threads. And then, not all of this is stitchy, but that's okay. She got me a beautiful bookmark that has a K initial, and it's purple, which makes me really happy. And then, because she knows I love the 10th Doctor, she got me a little 10th Doctor. I picked up the 12th later that same day, but she knows he's my favorite. Then she got me this really cute minder. It says, "Keep calm and read Jane Austen," because she knows I love Jane Austen. And then perhaps my favorite part of this whole thing, Stitching Queen! It's got repeat. It says, eat, stitch, sleep, repeat all the way around. I think she got this one in Florida, she said, at Brick City. I love this. This is awesome. So it will definitely be hung up in here for sure. Thank you, Kate. You're awesome. I love you. You're my stitchy sister. Thank you. Then we went to Threads That Bind. Had a wonderful time there. We were remembered from our last visit there with Garrett and my children, since Brian didn't make it in time. We're getting together all soon too, the 4 Stitchers of the Apocalypse. Anyway, I got random threads because I can never have enough threads, and these all spoke to me. So, you know, you got to do, and I consider this my birthday presents to myself. From Dinky Dyes, I got this pretty one called Mardi Gras. I mean, how pretty is that? And clearly I was on a theme this week because I got this water lilies. It's so pretty. This is Havana. Don't know what I'll use it for, but it's gorgeous. Then I got a pixie dust from Crescent Colors or Classic Colorworks. Mediterranean Sea from Gast. It's really pretty blue. It's not catching it quite as well on the camera, but. And then from Weeks, I got Santa Claus, which I almost used for the frame for Egypt because it's black, white, and red, but I stuck with Moe's. Then I got 2 little Mill Hill kits. This one is American Pie. And then this one is a blue sneaker because I will do it eventually for my husband, the runner. And then I got 2 other patterns. One will for sure, this one will for sure get into the Year of Stars. I just have to decide where. It's from Heartstring Samplery. It's Cross Stitch Nation. I belong to the Cross Stitch Nation. There's 2 queens and 1 boy in here, so I think I'm going to convert one of these other 2 girls over here to make it another boy, so it'll be me, Kate, Garrett, and Brian all in this. Because there's 2 queens. They have crowns and everything. See? That one has a crown. Is it that one? No, it's not that one. It's the red one has a crown and the green one has a crown. See? I'm sure you put crowns on the other ones too if I wanted to. But I love this. It's going on my list for this month, or not for this month, for Year of Stars. And then this one, I can't resist it because it's a model stitch and I love it at my LNS every time I see it. Don't know when I'll do it, but I have it. It's Christmas at Hop Run Hollow. It's just so beautiful, and I love Christmas. So yeah, don't know when I'm going to do this one, but sometime I will. That's not all. We also went to Barnes & Noble, and I got a couple of non-stitchy things. See, I told you I picked up a 12. Because I had 10. Now I need 11 and 9 in the mini ones. Because I have a mini TARDIS too. I have a lot of pops. You'll see that one day. And this one, my husband's name is Paul. We couldn't resist. It was the Stress Paul stress reliever squeeze. I think I'm going to send that with my husband to work. So the magazines I got, I'll do a quick flip through. If you don't want to watch the flip through, you're welcome to stop. I'll see you next time. First one I got was the Cross Stitch Collection, May 2016 issue. Let's see. This one, it's got hands in marriage. That's really sweet. Then I like this one. Whine a little, laugh a lot. Good one for wine and whips. Butterfly Blooms. This one's really pretty. I like that one a lot. And we've got some creative deco pillows. Peace, love. Very hippie. Then this one is Home Sweet Home. Really sweet. Catch of the Day for the fisherman. This one is a cute little scissor keep. Look at that. You got the mouse ears to hold the scissors in. It's really sweet. I'm not a big scissor keep person, but that's really fun. This one is called Stitch by Stitch. It's a pretty sampler. It's a stitch by stitch, the needle sews day by day, so true love grows. I like the pattern. I think I would change the colors though. It's a lot of green. Then let's see here. Happy New Home. This is a cutout card. It's really cute. And the way they have it set up, see? It's like a little 3D cutout card. That's really cool. Let's see. This is Forget Me Not. It's an alphabet sampler, but you could easily pull off the letters to do individual things. Then let's see here. This one is A Dog's Life. I really like this one. This is the pull-out, it's a pull-out chart. It's a fairground carousel. I just think that's really, really pretty. And that is it for this one. So that was Cross Stitch Collection, May 2016. Next one, Cross Stitch Gold, June, July 2016. We have an Elegant Geisha, which is lovely. I think the geishas are beautiful. They're not my decor or aesthetic, but I think they're gorgeous. This one is called a Honeysuckle Cushion. That'd be a really pretty pillow. Let's see here. This one is Love, Laughter, and Happily Ever After. It's another wedding sampler. Kind of modern, but whimsical at the same time. This one is a Coastal Scene. It's really very lovely. Then this is Tea Time Hanging. There's always time for tea. I know some people who would attest to that. They aren't stitchers, though. This is a Sleeping Cat. Let's see. Is that it? There's one more. Oh, this is one I really like. The Sewing Sampler. I like that a lot. Antique old sewing stuff. I think that's it. Or maybe not. Elegant Greetings. These are a set of 4 cards. But you could easily do them up as other things too. Very feminine. And that is it for Cross Stitch Gold, June, July 2016. Then the Cross Stitcher May 2016 issue came with a cute little needle case stitch kit, free gift. Let's flip through this one real quick. Let's see here. This is the one with the interview with Mr. X Stitch, by the way. Let's see. This is On Point for the ballerina in your life. This one's cute. It's a little Scrabble teacup. Tea time Scrabble. Let's see here. And they have their little, this is You're So Sweet, Candy Crush. Put it on the candy jar. This one, this is really the reason I got the pattern. Not because I'm going to celebrate the Queen's 90th birthday, though happy birthday, Queen Elizabeth, but I would love to do that crown and some of the other little motifs. So this is fit for a queen. In honor of Queen Elizabeth turning 90. Let's see here. This one is Pandemonium. That's really cute. If you have panda theme kids room. Cute little bell pull. Then, let's see here. This one is Welcome to the World. It's a birth sampler. This is a really cool little birth sampler because it's way different than what you normally see. But it's got all the different continents. It says, the world is all yours, little one. How cool is that? I like that. Let's see here. There's a letter library. Let's see if they have. I don't really have a good, but it's these kind of letters. Let's see here. Then here's High Flyer. I like this because it requires the 2 hoops and it connects it with the thread. I think that's cute. Let's see. And then keep on trucking. Let's see. Yeah, there's a little, all the dump trucks and construction trucks. This is Wings of Love. It's really sweet. And then this is Sea Breeze, a little village that you can put on a bag or something. This is, it's called A Stitch in Time, but it's all different little clocks. It's really cute. This is a whole bunch of different little birds, the bird motifs, how they do the motifs. They made one into a mouse pad. That's cute. Though I don't know they use a mouse like that much on my laptop. And then, oh cool. They're starting a mystery sampler that is a Christmas themed mystery sampler. I might have to get this more. It's Learn with Cross Stitcher, and it says sharpen your stitching skills every month until Christmas with our brand new Stitch Along Club. Join us for a mystery sampler. If you're new to cross stitch, don't worry, we'll have all the tips you need over the page. So this looks like it's the first part of it. That's cute. Little cute little Scotty dog. I might have to look into that more. And then that is Cross Stitcher, May 2016. Couple more. This is World of Cross Stitch. Which issue is this? This issue. This one. I'm not sure which month it is. It doesn't really, I don't see it on here because the sticker is covering it. So it's this one. It came with an ABC chart book and Madeira flosses. Let's see here. We've got a beautiful bouquet. It's really quite lovely. This is a bird's cushion. Little singing birds. Let's see here. Told you I had a lot of stash. This is, it's called, sorry, Say It in Stitches. It's a bunch of little card motifs. Oh, this one's really cute. It's a fairy tale board game. How adorable is that? I've seen like the Monopoly and I've seen the like making checkerboards or Scrabble, but this is precious. Oh my goodness. That is awesome. I might have to do that. Then we've got a bunch of motifs all related to the kitchen and garden. Let's see here. This one is a teapot cottage, home sweet home. Please, little teapot. Then Darling Daisies, it's the next alphabet. So it has an example that says Nadia. Can't show all of it because it's mostly pattern. This one is another sewing sampler. This one's a little bit more modern. Then we have some birthday card motifs, birthday mischief. Those cute little ones. Can I do it so you can actually see them? Be helpful. Cute little pink kitties. The pet of the month. It's a ferret. He's cute. Get my finger caught in my own hair. Good job, Katie. This one is the next of all of these that Emma Condon is doing. It's A Journey of 1,000 Miles Begins with a Single Step. I like that one a lot. We'll probably do it at some point. see. And that is it for World of Cross Stitching. One more, last one, promise. This one is Enjoying Cross Stitch Birds and Butterflies, and it came in a really cute, cool plastic like pouch, because inside it has a pattern that I can't, it's this pattern, and they give you fabric and floss and ribbon and finishing materials for all sorts of other things in here. That's pretty cool. So let's see what's in here. So yeah, it is Enjoy Cross Stitch Birds and Butterflies Spring 2016. Let's see here. It's another part of the free gift is the patterns for some of those other pieces. A lot of these have patterns on the pages, so it's hard to show them. Other things you can do with the gift pack. Yeah, pretty worth it. Okay, this is a vintage bird cage. Then we have a butterfly cushion. My daughter would like that. She's big on butterflies. Ah, hit this, sorry. Then we have Creature Comforts. It's a bunch of different little motifs that can be made into various things. Lots of birds. We have some butterfly cards. You can easily switch out colors on those too. And this one is Home to Roost. Welcome to our roost. Then we have some more cards. This one is called a butterfly hoop. I like that. Pretty hand-dyed fabric. Background would be really nice on that. This one is some butterfly accessories. Aren't those cute? Like for a birthday party and stuff. They have some being used to, you put a Tootsie Roll Pop in there, little lollipop holders. It has an alphabet with birds on it, so, and I can't show it because it's mostly chart, but that is it. Told you got a lot of stash. So this week, plans. Daughter's birthday, our anniversary, my sister's in town. We'll see what gets done. Other than that, I hope everyone has a wonderful stitchy week, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!